What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the number one comment on YouTube, and I'm back with another review. Today, I will be reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is the reunion part 3, and I hope it's the final one. Don't know what season, don't know what episode, don't care. I'm ready to be done with Love and Marriage Huntsville because, yes, this is my most highly rated show to review, but it's my least favorite. Used to be my favorite show, but it's so much toxicity going on with this show. You know, it's like we all met Martell in person, and we've been infected by the toxicity. You know, from Maurice giving out the corny awards to his favorite YouTubers, and got the YouTubers up in a roar, whether it be the subscribers or the actual YouTubers itself. From Funky Dineva giving it to Mel, and it's been in an uproar. It's just like it's too much. Now, my personal take, I don't really take none of this stuff personal, but sometimes it blows my mind with the how far people go and the perspective that they take. It's like people that you're used to associating to, you find out that they're like blatant racist, or they support things that you can't stand with. So it's really exhausting. I hope that Love and Marriage really takes a break. But let's go ahead and wrap this last segment up. And as I said, for those of you new to my channel, I am YouTube's number one commenter. And this channel, it's all about the comments. And again, the motto of this channel is say what you say. So if you want to talk about Mel, if you're a Mela meter, you're a Mela hater, you're a Martell lover, Marcel haters, say what you say. That's the motto of this channel. The only thing I ask is that we be respectful to each other, because when you see those people in the comments, that's the Dub fam, your YouTube cousins. When you're on this channel, we are part of family, a small knit family, but we are close, and we look out for each other. So let me go ahead and get out this long introduction. As you can see, I'm not in my normal studio setting, getting some work done in the studio area, so it's too noisy for me to continue, so I'm going to drop this video on this one. So let's get into it and get it out the way. So it pretty much picks up where Kimmy and Destiny are having their argument about Destiny being more forthcoming with her life, and just sharing with the world what she's going through, just like everybody else is doing. But to my memory, now correct me if I'm wrong, we were on the situation where Destiny was about to drop some information about Melody, and we didn't really get to that because Destiny was like insinuating like, oh, I know something on you and let me tell it. And everybody was like, no, don't tell it. We don't want all our secrets to come out. And the thing is, well, let me go back to that argument with Destiny and Kimmy. What irritated me so much about that argument, not about Destiny or Kimmy, the fact that Marceau felt comfortable inserting himself. And when people say, oh, Marceau's on the stage, he can get on himself. No, that was a conversation between Kimmy and Destiny, and it wasn't out of hand. So the man didn't need to get involved. Marceau, don't come for Kimmy. Like, Marceau, shut the up. I mean, I'm telling you, he irritates me so bad. And why that irritates me, not that he have a right to participate, just the fact of the matter is, like, he has so many things that he could be answering to or defending, but he feels the need to get in between a disagreement between Kimmy and Destiny about Destiny's transparency. But I'm going to move on because I'm irritated already. I'm trying to get through this. But in the end, Kimmy shut Destiny down, saying like she can't really come for me, and that's where they left it. So the next segment is concerning Destiny and Mel's up and down relationship. And I could tell there was trouble in paradise from, I guess, the previous seasons where Destiny had came to Mel talking about, you got to be my village. You need to be my village. Like when Mel was having like her launch party for something, and it was just like way to the left. And I was thinking like, yeah, they got some issues that they need to work through. It's something deeper than what we're seeing on TV. And that makes sense because Destiny ain't going to really share or tell it or anything like that. But come to find out where the beef really lies is when the last reunion where Destiny was talking to Tisha in somebody's hotel room, and Mel's room happened to be right next to her. And I don't know if Mel actually heard the conversation or she heard them conversating or what have you. But the fact of the matter is, Mel don't trust Destiny. And I get that. Like, in situations of, let's say, broken friendships, divorce, child custody, which all of this show touches, it's a time of war. And when it's wartime, you do have to pick a side. You can't sit over here with me at my child's birthday, then go over to my enemy's house and talk about me, and that's, even if that's not the case, that's what it feels like. So you can't play both sides. You do have to pick a side, because at one point, one of the people are not going to trust you, just point blank, period. So now we get into the segment where we're getting some tea from Melody. Melody is letting us know that at some point, Destiny has been calling Martell between the hours of 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. And Mel has just flat out said, like, hey, the reason I'm getting Martell's calls is because he's hacked my phone, and that's why I changed my number. And Martell, we know when it came up about the call from Destiny, like, who, what Martell? It's probably only two people in the world named Martell, but he wanted to play dumb. And I totally believe that he's hacking her phone, just in the sense of that they're wrapped up right now in a custody battle. And I believe Martell is that low down, underhanded kind of person that would do something like that. Now, I think he's trying to do it to find out if like he wants to be with Mel. Of course he wants to be with Mel, but I don't think it's for that purposes. But anyway, regardless of it, hacking somebody's phone, especially your ex-wife, is a very serious matter. And what, again, irritates me more, Carlos King is asking Martell some dumb questions. Like, well, Martell, did you violate Code 3321, the federal phone tap law? And Mar says, no, I never violated the Code 3221, the federal tap law. What is he going to say? Yeah, I violated Melody by hacking her phone. Well, Carlos King will ask Martell, you don't want Melody's brother to watch your children because he's gay? No, I love gay people. There's no problem him watching my kids. Of course he's going to say that, but Martell said he had a problem with Melody's brother watching his children because she didn't really grow up with him. She met him as a teenager. So, again, they're in a huge custody issue, and Martell's going to use anything against Mel that he can. At this point now, we're not talking about Marceau's 20 girlfriends. We're talking about 20 babysitters. Martell is saying, like, hey, I'm in town, and Melody got all these different people watching my kids and had her brother watching my kids for 2 nights. Now, I get that concern where, like, Martell's saying, like, if you need somebody to watch my kids, who better than me? But the crazy thing, or the sad part, is that with a person like Martell, you can't co-parent of who Martell is. It won't be smooth. Mel will end up leaving the kids over Martell's house for some extra time other than his visitations, and then he'll get a court order saying that he's keeping the kids more than Melody and all that kind of stuff. You can't trust nobody like that, and you have to protect yourself, even if your kids are involved. The kids have been continuously getting hurt throughout the process. Anyway, it's like you got to look out for yourself, because nobody's really looking out for the kids. They're doing their best. And yes, Mel did like an olive branch thing in letting Martell come to Destin, Florida with them, but that backfired. A person like Martell, once you do something that they don't approve of, they're going to flip the switch on you. So you cannot let them in your inner circle. You just got to wait till the kids grow up and go to college and say, thank you, Lord, I made it, without being on the first 48. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. But at this point, just overall, like, some people are really they're saying like how they enjoy the reunion. I'm not one of those people. I think Carlos King has been doing a very poor job refereeing the cast, and at this point, it affects my reviews, because sometimes I can't even hear people talking because they're talking all over each other. And Carlos needs to jump in there and kind of smooth that out, or one at a time, please, or raise your hand if you got something to say, something going on, because it's absolutely ridiculous. I really couldn't even get into that Mel and Destiny situation because I couldn't hear. And that's not the only situation that has happened. But in conclusion, Carlos King asked Destiny, like, hey, do you want to be friends with Mel? And was like, no, I don't want to be friends. I sure wish they would show that clip where Destiny was telling Mel, like, you love me, don't you? You know, like being pressed, being just all about trying to get back with Mel on the low without saying. It's something like Martell does, you know? And let's be clear, I'm not a mellow meter, I'm not a mellow hater, I'm not on nobody's side. I give you my opinion and how I see it. Whether it's right or wrong, I tell you how I feel. I don't jump on no bandwagon and don't believe in that. But let's keep moving. This stuff it's already bringing me down. So I don't know if it's editing, but I got kind of irritated with all them faces that Melody was making. And it was like the same one, so I don't know if they was using the same frame. They're like, like that. I mean, it was like irritating because like I want her to talk. I want her to say something, and I wanted her to keep her promise as she did in the first part of the reunion when she said, like, hey, when them people go low, I'm going to hell. I wanted to see her drag them people to hell, and she really didn't do that. The only thing she really got out that was pretty good when she got into it with Martell, about with the phone and all that, how he was calling her a liar, and she was like, well, I'm going to do what's best for me or whatever in my life, and that's how I did with your dusty ass. I was like, damn. Like, she said that to the Martell. I thought that was, I can't feel bad for Martell. That's all I can say. But I didn't expect her to say that because she's been so kind of quiet and making all them faces without saying nothing. So it is what it is. But I just really wanted to see her get into all of them. But anyway, we go into the Carlos segment. Now, I feel two ways about this. And when I say Carlos segment, Carlos really broke the situation down about Martell. About like Martell, he's concerned about Martell. Martell is sad. He knows Martell has made a mistake and regrets everything that he's done towards his family. How Martell cannot admit that he made that mistake and wants his family back. And he's so on point. It's so ridiculous because, yes, Martell regrets open his eyes every day in the morning and saying, damn, I lost everything. Like, by Martell choosing to have a long-term affair with Ariane, he's like destroyed his reputation, his finances, what's going on with his kids. Like, his kids have got hurt in the mix. He hurt Mel, and he knows he's been struggling due to those choices. And that's like really hard to get back because like when you make mistakes like that, it's hard to recover from and it's hard to fix them. It's almost impossible in this case, which it is. But I really blame him for these things. I don't feel bad, but I understand about like having regrets. And that Carlos King also brought up that like when Martell gets like angry and start lashing out, it's that anger that he got going on from the regret. And again, he's on point. You remember when Mel was talking to Miss Marlene, Martell's mother, and saying that his mother really never allowed him to express himself. It was more so like, oh, stop whining or whatever. And he really didn't have nobody to talk to. He didn't have a consistent father figure. His father been in jail for 100 years or whatever. And that you got the result of Martell. What they say, the women like him, like, oh, he's a good looking guy, but is he a man of substance? I don't call that a good husband and a good father where you can't tap into your emotions and you have to hide and cover. That's how you raising your children up to not being able to share, not being able to express themselves. And especially in young men and young women, it comes out in so many negative ways. And until you clean that up, it's just going to be a continued cycle. Your children are going to go through the same things, pass it along to their children. It's an ugly thing. But like I said, on the other hand, with Carlos King, I agree with him totally. But I felt like he is kind of too close to the situation. He's the executive producer of the show. to me, the personal relationships are like way too close. Whereas also like the process of reality is being tampered with, and you know, and another problem I got with Carlos King, he always going to throw some shots at Melody. Like before, when he had brought up Ariane or whatever, and then he kind of compared Ariane to being like the whole meal, like instead of a snack. Like Ariane was everything Martell needed, which she wasn't. But now she got Carlos King put it on Mel like Mel was too busy to tend to Martell, and Mel had to defend herself, saying like, "No, I was still cooking and doing some of those things that Martell wanted me to do." And so much that Carlos also put on like she was shining too much for Martell. And if you go back a couple of seasons, like when Mel was giving some type of speech at a seminar, Martell was feeling some kind of way like Mel's in the front shining. And I'm like, if without Mel, they wouldn't have any of that success. Like from Holton Holt, he didn't have no builder's license. She working around the clock to run the business. He was just the front man. Whatever his talent was, it wasn't what Mel does. What Martell wants to give like speeches at women's empowered seminars. Martell read like he on a 6th grade level. So what speeches is he gonna be giving? He can't even read the stuff he write down. So which is absolutely ridiculous. And then it's just the fact of the matter, just to show what kind of jealous person, feminine man that he is. When you jealous of your wife and she rising, you with your wife, that's your partner. If she's shining, you shining. It's bringing in something great and growing for y'all, not just her. And, small-minded people can't see that. They get jealous. You get jealous in your own household. I mean, that's just what Marceau is. Like I said, I keep saying Marceau. I mean, Martell. We can add Marceau into the mix too, but he got a whole different situation. But yeah, that's the type of Martell. That's the type of man Martell is, and it's just quite ridiculous, and it's his fault. Of course, Mel had some part in the dissolvement of their marriage. Of course, it was something she could have done different. And Carlos asked her, and she was like, "I wish I would have listened more," or I forgot what she did. I don't even want her to make up nothing because Martell was absolutely ridiculous for it. He could have 100% put all this thing back together, but I'm going to believe everything happens as it should. So I'm glad she's away from him, apart, and I want her to stay apart. She deserves better than that. The guy's quite ridiculous. But yeah, I don't like that, Carlos. You shifting the blame was got to be Mel fault that she did for Martell. It's Martell mama fault and his father's fault. But let's get on to the next. The next segment is my least favorite segment, the Whitlows. They dress like they ready they going to a Valentine's ball. And, by looking at it, I was like, oh, Tiffany, she looked like she gained some weight. Guess what? She's pregnant. Congratulations, Tiffany. I didn't know it was possible, but, hey, congratulations. And we know Lewis didn't want no baby, so what else can I say about it? I didn't really write anything about this segment because I don't really care. Just like the Whitlows, I feel the same way about Destiny. Why am I still looking at them? The majority of the people don't want them. Fire them, replace them, or just leave a blank space. And then we can see the rest of Marceau's backyard and the other side of the gas station, that somebody walk to the gas station, maybe get a soda or something, or some candy. I don't know, anything. But let's get to the final segment. The final segment is another Carlos moment, I would say, and it's concerning Kimmy. I don't want to go so hard on Carlos on this segment because this is like a sensitive subject. It's dealing with Kimmy's cancer journey, but it really didn't turn into Kimmy's cancer journey. It was more so about his mom, and his mom has a heck of a story where she decided to suffer in silence about her cancer, no treatment or anything, and that's quite painful to hear. And I'm sure that process she went through was very painful. But it was really supposed to be about Kimmy, but it was all about Carlos and his mama. And we did get a sense of what Carlos said to be true, that by Kimmy sharing this to the world, it's going to help somebody because cancer runs so rampant through our people It don't make no sense. So it's like everybody knows somebody that cancer has touched their lives in such a negative way. And just to hear what Kimmy like really has to go through to try to, beat this, talking about she had to do 20 weeks of chemo, then she got to have surgery, then she got to do like 20 treatments of radiation. Like, God be with her, because what she talking about, like, that would take anybody out. Normally in a cancer situation, you would like either choose radiation or chemo. Like, that drains all the energy out you. It makes you ill. You lose your hair. It gives you burns on your skin. These are all the after effects. It's like killing everything. So I pray that she has the strength to get through this, and that she continues to have that support system, because that's going to be a tough ride. Because as we know, she said she had it like in 2 or 3 places. So yeah, like I said, it was supposed to be a Kimmy moment, but a Carlos moment. So that's it. I'm so glad. Rest in peace. Love and marriage, Huntsville. I hope we get a real break from this show, not a 4-week thing. And guess what? It's a mid-season. Are we coming back? No, you can keep that. We need another show. We need something else. And we know everybody going to come back. So I just, I'll detoxify and come back next season. So drop down in the comments. Tell me what you thought. I know I missed something. So please get down in there and let me hear what you got to say. We can go back and forth and fight about Mel and Tisha and Marceau and Martell and Carlos. So I'm down for it one last time. And as I always tell y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate it. I really mean it. Oh, one thing I forgot. In a few hours, let's say around 5 o'clock, I might be close for me at 5:30, but I'm going to say around 5 o'clock, I will be on Sonia G's coaching channel on YouTube, and I'll be on the men's panel dealing with men's health. We need Martell as a guest so we can talk to him, and Marcel. We need all of the Scotts and everybody else, but we're going to try to work through some things and, get things from a male perspective. I see y'all.